For decades, Earth had chosen a quiet path. After centuries of turmoil and near self-destructs, humanity had turned inward, focusing on healing its wounds and advancing peacefully. Technology flourished, cities gleamed with sustainable energy, and cultures blended in harmony. Space agencies explored the stars with careful curiosity, but Earth's leaders agreed they would not get involved in the endless wars, raging far beyond their solar system. Humanity had learned the cost of conflict all too well. The scars of past wars lingered, etched in memory and monuments alike. So when reports arrived of distant skirmishes and expanding empires clashing in the far reaches of space, Earth's response was one of deliberate neutrality. The people had no appetite for another war, no desire to sacrifice their fragile peace dot in orbit. Satellites kept watch, scanning for threats. Scientists tracked strange energy signatures and flickering transmissions, signals of conflict and ambition. From alien civilizations humanity barely understood, these distant echoes were reminders of a universe both beautiful and dangerous. Yet Earth remained a quiet island amid a stormy sea. One of those signals, however, stood out. A faint pulse, rhythmic and repeating, unlike the chaos of war chatter. Dr. Amara Felix, lead astrophysicist at the International Space Observatory, leaned forward in her chair as the data streamed in. This pattern doesn't match any known natural phenomenon, she said softly, eyes reflecting the screen's glow. It's deliberate, structured. Her team debated theories: an ancient beacon, a message lost to time, or perhaps a warning. The idea that it was a call from an intelligent source sparked a mix of excitement and unease. Meanwhile, Earth's governments remained cautious. Diplomats urged patience and silence, fearing that any response might draw unwanted attention. The Council of Earth, a body formed to manage global cooperation, met in urgent sessions behind closed doors. Our priority is preservation, one diplomat emphasized. We must not provoke the powers beyond. But not everyone agreed. Among the scientists and visionaries, a sense of growing tension settled. They sensed that Earth's peaceful isolation might soon be tested. Then, one clear night, the sky above Earth's major cities suddenly lit with unfamiliar lights, warships of immense scale, breaking through the calm with silent menace. The space agency's alarms blared, and the world watched in stunned disbelief as alien vessels took positions in orbit. Messages flooded communication networks, broadcasts from the invaders, claiming no desire to harm humans, but insisting on access to Earth's natural resources. Their war was elsewhere, they said, but Earth's location made it a valuable strategic point. The revelation shattered Earth's illusion of safety. Humanity, who had wanted no part in the galactic struggles, now faced the stark reality. War had come to their doorstep. Across continents, military forces mobilized. Fleets of satellites and orbital defense platforms awakened from dormancy. Engineers and technicians raced to adapt existing technologies for an enemy unlike any Earth had encountered. Citizens reacted with a mix of fear, anger, and determination. News anchors spoke calmly, urging unity and resilience. Communities prepared for uncertainty, their everyday lives suddenly shadowed by the weight of what was to come. Drive. Felix watched the stars with renewed intensity. This is a turning point, she said. We either rise to meet it or fall behind. On the Hope, Earth's flagship vessel recently recommissioned for deep space exploration. Captain Marcus Kane stood ready. He had trained for the unknown. But this was different. This was a war thrust upon humanity without warning. We wanted no part in their war, he muttered to his crew, but now, we have no choice but to fight. The world held its breath, knowing that everything would change from this moment forward. Earth's silent resolve was about to be tested in the crucible of interstellar conflict, and humanity, united in purpose and spirit, prepared to defend their home with every ounce of courage they possessed. The warships hung silently in Earth's orbit, their colossal silhouettes casting shadows across the planet's surface. Humanity watched from below, hearts pounding as the unfamiliar craft disrupted the night sky. These were no mere explorers or diplomats, they were weapons of war, and their arrival marked a profound shift in Earth's fate. The alien fleet belonged to the Viren, a faction locked in a brutal struggle against the Carthic Empire. Viren commanders saw Earth not as an enemy, but as a prize, a resource-rich planet strategically positioned between star systems. To them, Earth was a tool, a supply depot for their war effort. Inside the Viren flagship, Admiral Shalkran issued orders with cold efficiency. Deploy reconnaissance drones to assess planetary defenses. The humans have been isolated too long. Their technology may be primitive, but the planet's resources are vital. Back on Earth, the International Space Defense Council convened in emergency sessions. Earth's fragmented militaries began coordinating under a unified command, a global effort unprecedented in scale. Captain Marcus Kane of the Hope was summoned to join the command center. His calm confidence provided a steadying presence amid the growing panic. "We're outgunned," Marcus said bluntly, examining the surveillance feeds. "Their ships dwarf anything we built. Direct confrontation would be suicidal." "Then what do we do?" a young officer asked. "We buy time. We disrupt their operations. Use hit-and-run tactics. Make this planet a nightmare for them." Scientists and engineers scrambled to retrofit Earth's existing weapons systems. Satellite arrays were modified to serve as early warning and offensive platforms. Space elevators and orbital stations became hubs for rapid deployment. Meanwhile, on the surface, governments enacted emergency protocols. Factories shifted to producing defense equipment. Civilians volunteered for support roles. Medics, technicians, communications. Amid the chaos, life continued. Children played beneath the glow of the alien fleet. People gathered on rooftops, staring at the strange visitors. Hope and fear intertwined. Communication channels from the Viren broadcast messages intended to pacify and intimidate. Earthlings, a resonant voice echoed across frequencies. "Your world stands on the edge of a new era. Resist, and you will be crushed. Comply, and you will survive." The ultimatum stirred a fierce response. Earth's leaders unanimously rejected the demand. Humanity would not surrender its home. "This is our planet," President Narration declared in a historic broadcast. "We will defend it with everything we have. Our freedom is non-negotiable." As the days passed, Viren forces began establishing orbital platforms, extracting resources and deploying troops. Skirmishes erupted in the upper atmosphere. Earth's defenders fought with ingenuity, turning the environment to their advantage. Pilots like Lieutenant Yara Vincent performed daring raids against Viren supply convoys, her squadron weaving through asteroid belts and atmospheric storms. On the ground, resistance cells disrupted enemy communications and sabotaged equipment. Humanity's spirit, once underestimated, shone through the darkness, but the Viren were relentless. Their advanced technology and battle experience tested every defense. The war was no longer distant. It was here, and Earth was the battleground. In the command center, Marcus reviewed intelligence reports. The enemy underestimated the depth of human resolve, and that would be their greatest mistake. "We didn't ask for this war," he told his crew. "But now that it's here, we will face it head-on. For Earth, for all of us." As night fell across the planet, the alien warships glowed like a silent storm above. Earth's people braced themselves for the conflict to come, united by a common cause stronger than any weapon. The fight for Earth had begun. The days that followed the Viren ultimatum were some of the most tense Earth had ever seen. Across every continent, governments worked in unison for the first time in generations, coordinating a defense not just of their territories, but of their entire planet. The choice was clear: surrender or fight. The Council of Earth gathered in the underground chamber of the Global Defense Headquarters, a place once used for diplomacy and debate. Now, it was the command center for survival. Representatives from every nation sat around a circular table, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of holographic maps and incoming reports. "We cannot afford to delay," President Narration said firmly. "Our enemies do not respect hesitation." Some voices argued for cautious diplomacy, hoping to find a peaceful resolution. Others demanded immediate retaliation, warning that the Viren would only become more aggressive if allowed to gain a foothold. Captain Marcus Kane stood quietly at the back, his eyes scanning the room. Years of military experience had taught him the harsh realities of war, but he also knew that Earth's greatest strength was its people's unity and adaptability. "We have been forced into this fight," Marcus finally spoke, breaking the silence. "But we will not be victims. We will use every resource, every skill, every ounce of ingenuity to defend our home." Outside the chamber, Earth's skies were alive with activity. Fighter jets soared through the atmosphere. Satellites adjusted their orbits to strengthen the planet's shield, and underground bunkers buzzed with preparations. Civilians trained in self-defense and emergency response, determined to protect their families and communities. The Viren, sensing Earth's resolve, intensified their efforts. Orbital platforms expanded, deploying automated drones and ground troops to strategic locations. Mining operations for rare minerals critical to their war machine began in remote mountain ranges, and oceanic trenches dot on Earth's surface. Skirmishes broke out near extraction sites. Human soldiers, often outmatched in technology, relied on guerrilla tactics, ambushes, hit-and-run strikes, and clever use of terrain. Every battle tested their limits, but morale remained high. One night, a reconnaissance team led by Lieutenant Yara Vincent intercepted an enemy supply convoy moving through a dense forest. With precision and courage, they disrupted the convoy, destroying fuel reserves and communications equipment. They underestimate us, Yara radioed. We know this land. We use it. We fight smart. Meanwhile, in the labs beneath the capital cities, scientists raced to adapt alien technology gleaned from downed drones and salvaged equipment. Drive. Amara Felix led a team developing electromagnetic pulse weapons designed to disable Viren electronics without harming civilians. As the conflict escalated, the war reached a critical juncture, a moment where Earth's survival hung by a thread. Viren commanders prepared for a massive strike, planning to cripple Earth's defense systems with a coordinated orbital bombardment. Marcus and the Council devised a daring plan. Rather than waiting to be attacked, Earth's forces would launch a preemptive strike on the main Viren command platform in orbit. This mission is dangerous, Marcus warned his team, but it's our best chance to disrupt their control and buy us time. The strike team, a mix of seasoned pilots and engineers, prepared for launch. Tension was thick as countdowns echoed through the command center. Civilians held their breath, knowing the outcome could change the course of the war. As the ship sped toward the Viren platform, Earth's defenders engaged enemy fighters in fierce dogfights. The orbital battlefield became a whirlwind of light and shadow, every move crucial. With skill and determination, the strike team reached the command platform. Explosions rocked the structure as charges detonated. The platform's communications faltered, sending confusion through Viren ranks. Back on Earth, the news spread quickly. Earth had struck back, and the blow was severe. But the victory came at a cost. Some ships did not return, and the enemy would retaliate harder. Marcus stood on the bridge of the Hope, looking out at the war-torn sky. We've crossed the breaking point, he said softly. There's no turning back. Yet, within the resolve of humanity burned a fierce hope that no matter the odds, Earth would stand. The war for Earth had truly begun. The aftermath of the orbital strike was both a victory and a wake-up call. While Earth's forces had dealt a significant blow to the Viren command platform, the enemy was far from defeated. Their attacks grew fiercer and more frequent, testing humanity's resolve in ways no one had anticipated. Deep beneath the surface of Earth's major cities, vast underground bunkers and research complexes buzzed with activity. Scientists and engineers worked around the clock, racing to improve Earth's defenses. Every salvaged piece of Viren technology was examined, studied, and repurposed. What once seemed like an insurmountable disadvantage was slowly turning into an unexpected advantage. Drive. Amara Felix stood before a holographic display, her voice steady as she explained new developments to military leaders. We're adapting their energy shields to reinforce our orbital platforms. Our engineers have modified drone designs to counter their assault craft. The key is innovation. We must use their technology against them. The collaboration between civilians, scientists, and military personnel was unprecedented. Factories once dedicated to consumer goods were now producing advanced weapons and armor. Pilots trained in simulation programs that mimicked Viren tactics. Every person played a role in the growing war effort. Captain Marcus Kane oversaw the training of an elite task force, blending soldiers with diverse skills. We're not just fighting with weapons, he reminded them. We're fighting with our minds, our courage, and our determination. The Viren may have the technology, but we have something they don't. Our home. Meanwhile, humanity's guerrilla fighters operated deep within forests, mountains, and urban ruins, striking enemy supply lines and communications hubs. These small but deadly units embodied the spirit of resistance, hitting hard and vanishing before the enemy could react. In one daring operation, Lieutenant Yara Vincent led a team to sabotage a mining facility, critical to the Viren's resource extraction. Navigating treacherous terrain under enemy fire, they planted charges that crippled the operation, buying Earth valuable time to strengthen defenses outside the battlefield. A new sense of unity blossomed. Ordinary citizens volunteered for support, Role's medical teams cared for the wounded, technicians repaired damaged equipment, and communication experts maintained vital networks. Communities organized drills and shared resources determined to protect their neighborhoods. Amid the growing conflict, humanity reached out beyond Earth. Long-range sensors picked up signals from a previously unknown alien species, the Kaleri. Mysterious and neutral for centuries, the Kaleri observed Earth's struggle with interest. Through tentative communication, humans and Kaleri began to build trust. The Kaleri offered advanced technology and insights into Viren tactics. Recognizing the kindred spirit in Earth's fight for survival, their aid is invaluable. Dr. Felix noted during a strategy meeting, with Kaleri support, we can level the playing field. This alliance breathed new hope into Earth's defenses. The combined forces planned coordinated strikes to disrupt Viren operations, targeting supply chains and command centers. As Earth's military prepared for these missions, morale surged. Soldiers and civilians alike felt a renewed sense of purpose. The war was no longer a distant threat, it was a shared challenge, one that humanity would meet together. Captain Marcus stood on the bridge of the Hope, watching training simulations unfold. We're forging strength from adversity, he said quietly, and this is only the beginning. The planet's pulse quickened with anticipation. Earth's silent resolve had evolved into a roaring battle cry, echoing across the stars. The fight for Earth was far from over, but now, humanity was ready. The first battle for Earth's skies erupted like a storm unleashed. Beneath a pale blue atmosphere, human fighter pilots soared into the fray, hearts pounding as enemy ships descended. Earth's defenders were outnumbered, their craft smaller and less advanced, but their spirit burned fiercely. Lieutenant Yara Vincent led the vanguard. Her squadron, a tight-knit group forged in months of grueling training and countless simulations, pushed through waves of Viren fighters with a blend of skill and daring few had expected. Stick close, Yara commanded over the comms, voice calm but urgent. We hit fast, then disappear. Don't give them a target. The battle unfolded in chaotic bursts, flashes of laser fire, explosions blooming against the darkness of space. Earth's pilots used the planet's natural advantages, weaving through dense asteroid fields and plasma storms where Viren ships faltered. Down below, civilians watched the night sky blaze with unfamiliar colors. For many, it was the first time they truly grasped that their world was a battlefield. On the ground, Earth's orbital defense platforms hummed with activity, automated to distract incoming enemy fighters, fiery bursts of energy that lit the sky. Behind the scenes, technicians monitored shields, recalibrated weapons, and coordinated with pilots. Despite their numerical disadvantage, human forces leveraged clever tactics. They targeted Viren supply convoys and communication relays, aiming to disrupt the enemy's ability to coordinate. In one daring raid, Yara's squadron struck a cluster of Viren transport ships moving through the lower orbit. With precision and speed, they disabled the vessels, forcing the enemy to abort their mission. They're not invincible, Yara told her team. Remember that. However, the Viren adapted quickly. Their commanders deployed new drone swarms, programmed to anticipate human maneuvers, turning the skies into a deadly chessboard. The losses began to mount. Human pilots fell in combat. Ships exploded in fireballs. Each casualty weighed heavily, but the fight forged resilience. Every victory, however small, became a rallying point. Meanwhile, on Earth's surface, resistance cells worked tirelessly. They targeted enemy resource extraction points, sabotaging equipment and cutting off supply lines. Their guerrilla tactics slowed the Viren's advance, buying time for Earth's defenses to strengthen. In the heart of a besieged city, Medic Lena Soren tended to wounded soldiers and civilians. Her makeshift clinic overflowed with those caught in crossfire, yet her determination never wavered. We're all part of this fight, Lena said quietly to a young volunteer. Every life saved is a victory. Amid the chaos, humanity's alliance with the Kaleri bore fruit. Kaleri engineers transmitted blueprints for enhanced shield generators and improved energy weapons, technologies that Earth's forces quickly integrated. Captain Marcus King coordinated these efforts from the command center. His voice carried a steady reassurance during briefings, reminding everyone of the stakes and the hope ahead. We're holding the line, Marcus said, and we will keep fighting until Earth is free. As the battle for Earth's skies raged on, a deeper understanding grew. This was not just a war of weapons, but a war of wills. The Viren sought to conquer, but humanity refused to be conquered. The fire in the skies was a symbol of Earth's indomitable spirit. Against overwhelming odds, humans fought not just to survive, but to protect their home, their future, and their right to stand unbowed. And with every skirmish, every strike, Earth's defenders sent a clear message to the stars. Humanity was here to stay. As the war dragged on, tensions within Earth's coalition began to surface. The united front that had seemed unbreakable in the early days of the Viren invasion started showing cracks. Disagreements over strategy, resource distribution, and leadership festered behind closed doors. In the Global Defense Council chamber, heated debates grew more frequent. Some factions pushed for aggressive offensives deep into Viren-occupied territory, while others argued for a more cautious, defensive approach preserving Earth's forces and infrastructure. President Narration tried to maintain order. "We must remain united," she implored. "Our strength lies in cooperation, not division." Captain Marcus Kane sensed the fragility beneath the surface. He had seen firsthand how internal discord could unravel even the strongest armies. "If we don't present a solid front," he warned, "the Viren will exploit it." Yet, unknown to Earth's leaders, a far more insidious threat had already taken root. Somewhere within the coalition, a faction of humans, driven by fear and ambition, had begun secret communications with the Viren. The traitors believed Earth's defeat was inevitable. They sought to negotiate their survival, offering intelligence and sabotage in exchange for favor with the invaders. This betrayal threatened to unravel everything humanity had fought for. The first signs came in disrupted supply lines, inexplicable security breaches, and compromised missions. When a critical operation to disable a Viren mining outpost failed disastrously, suspicions ran high. Lieutenant Yara Vincent, renowned for her keen instincts, volunteered to investigate. Working with Earth's intelligence agency, she uncovered encrypted transmissions linking a shadowy group within the Council to Viren commanders. "They're selling us out," Yara reported grimly, "and time is running out." Captain Marcus convened a secret task force to root out the betrayers. Trust was fragile. Every meeting was shadowed by suspicion. Paranoia seeped into the ranks as old alliances were questioned. Meanwhile, the Viren intensified their assaults, sensing Earth's internal turmoil. Orbital bombardments targeted major cities and infrastructure, testing the limits of Earth's defenses. On the ground, civilians bore the brunt of the escalating conflict. Displacement, shortages, and fear became daily realities. Yet, amidst the hardship, stories of heroism and resilience flourished. Medic Lena Soren, now coordinating field hospitals across multiple cities, witnessed the toll. "This war isn't just fought in space or battlefields," she told volunteers. "It's in every act of kindness and courage." As the task force closed in, the traitorous faction's leader was revealed, a high-ranking official who had long advocated for collaboration with the Viren. The revelation shocked the Council and the public. But with swift justice and decisive action, the conspirators were removed and detained. Their plans foiled. President Chen addressed the world in a somber broadcast. "We have faced betrayal from within, but it has only strengthened our resolve. We will stand united, stronger than ever." The betrayal served as a harsh lesson. Earth's survival depended not only on military might, but on trust, unity, and unwavering commitment to the cause. Captain Marcus gathered his team. "We've been tested in fire, and now we emerge tempered," he said. "The enemy is relentless, but so are we." With the traitors dealt with and the coalition's bonds reforged, Earth prepared for the next phase of the war. The fight was far from over, but humanity's spirit burned brighter than ever. The shadows of betrayal had passed, but the light of resistance shone stronger, lighting the path ahead. After weathering the storm of betrayal and internal strife, humanity's resolve crystallized into a renewed determination. The coalition's leaders, hardened by experience and united in purpose, moved swiftly to rebuild trust and refine strategy. Every resource, every effort, was focused on one goal: turning the tide of the war. Captain Marcus Kane stood on the deck of the Hope, watching the blue planet below. From orbit, Earth looked peaceful, an illusion masking the relentless struggle that churned beneath the clouds. Yet Marcus felt the change in the air. Hope was no longer a distant dream, but a tangible force driving every mission, every battle. The Calari Alliance played a crucial role in this new chapter. Their advanced technology and insights had accelerated Earth's development of defensive and offensive systems. Energy shields that once flickered under sustained fire now held firm, and weapon systems grew more precise and powerful. Drive. Amara Felix briefed the command staff. "We've integrated Calari tech to create a new class of interceptor fighters. They're faster, more maneuverable, and equipped with energy disruptors that can disable Viren systems without destroying the craft, allowing us to capture intelligence and salvage technology. The first deployment of these interceptors was scheduled for a critical operation, a coordinated strike on the Viren's primary supply depot orbiting Mars. Cutting off the enemy's supply lines would cripple their ability to reinforce Earth and shift the strategic balance. Lieutenant Yara Vincent was chosen to lead the strike squadron. Her reputation as a fearless and tactical pilot inspired confidence. This mission will be dangerous, Yara acknowledged to her team, but it's our best chance to push back and reclaim control. As Earth's fleet moved through the void, tension gripped every pilot. Communications were sparse, silence stretching as they neared the enemy outpost. Then, the battle erupted. Viren defense drones swarmed from their positions, opening fire with deadly precision, but Earth's interceptors danced through the chaos, their disruptors firing in calculated bursts that brought down enemy shields and systems. The battle was fierce and costly. One by one, ships on both sides faltered, but Yara's squadron pressed forward, striking key infrastructure and forcing a hasty Viren retreat back on Earth. News of the operation's success electrified the population. Celebrations erupted, even in the darkest corners of war-torn cities. A collective exhale after months of relentless conflict. Captain Marcus addressed the world in a broadcast, his voice steady and resolute. Today, we proved that Earth's spirit is unbreakable. This victory is not the end, but a new beginning. Yet, the war was far from over. Viren commanders regrouped, their tactics evolving in response to humanity's newfound strength. In response, Earth's coalition accelerated training programs, preparing new recruits for the battles ahead. Communities rallied, supplying the front lines with resources, support, and unwavering faith. Medic Lena Soren continued her work, now overseeing expanded field hospitals and emergency response teams. Every life saved is a victory, she reminded her staff, and every act of compassion strengthens the heart of our fight. As the conflict intensified, Earth's defenders developed innovative strategies blending guerrilla warfare, technology, and diplomacy. Small teams infiltrated enemy positions, disrupting operations and gathering critical intelligence. The Kalaris shared knowledge of Viren weaknesses, and Achilles' heel in their hive-like command structure. Earth's forces exploited this, launching precision strikes that created confusion and slowed enemy advances. Captain Marcus met with the Council, outlining plans for a decisive campaign to reclaim Earth's orbit and push Viren forces back to the outer systems. The turning tide is upon us, he declared. We fight not just for survival, but for the future we will build. As Earth braced for the next great battle, a profound sense of unity filled the planet. The scars of war were deep, but the bonds of humanity were stronger. In the vast darkness of space, where the Viren once seemed invincible, the light of human courage and ingenuity now shone brighter than ever, and this light would guide them through the storm. The final battle for Earth's future unfolded with a ferocity unmatched in human history. Viren fleets, desperate to maintain their grip on the solar system, launched a massive assault against Earth's orbital defenses. In response, humanity marshaled every resource, every skill, and every ounce of courage. Captain Marcus Kane stood at the helm of the flagship Hope, eyes scanning the swirling chaos on the tactical display. Beside him, Lieutenant Yara Vincent coordinated the strike squadrons, her convoys cutting through the tension. We're ready, Yara said. All units, hold formation and prepare to engage. The fight was brutal. Viren warships unleashed torrents of energy that battered Earth shields, while swarms of drones harried the defenders. But Earth's forces fought with unwavering resolve, leveraging the new technologies shared by their Kalari allies and the hard-won experience of countless battles. Amid the storm, Yara led daring strikes against the Viren command ships, targeting their control centers. The disruption fractured enemy coordination, turning what had been a united force into chaos. On the surface, humanity held its breath as satellites relayed every moment. Millions watched as the war for their home raged above, their hearts intertwined, with the pilots and soldiers risking everything. Captain Marcus issued the final order: push forward. We take the fight to them, and we end this. As the battle reached its climax, Earth's defenders breached the Viren command flagship. Boarding teams fought fiercely, securing vital intelligence and disabling the ship's weapons. The victory shattered the Viren's command structure, forcing a retreat. Celebrations erupted across Earth. Cities lit up with joy and relief, and the scars of war were slowly replaced with hope. Leaders from Earth and Kalari met to chart the path forward. A future rebuilt on cooperation and resilience. President Murray Chan addressed the world. We have faced darkness and emerged into the light. This war tested our limits, but it also revealed our greatest strengths: unity, courage, and an unbreakable spirit. Captain Marcus reflected on the journey. From the first shock of invasion to the final triumph, humanity had transformed. They were no longer the uncertain survivors of a distant planet. They were guardians of their destiny. As the sun rose over a healed Earth, humanity looked to the stars not with fear, but with determination. The universe was vast and full of challenges, but Earth stood ready. And in the heart of every human burned a simple truth: no matter the odds, humanity would never stop fighting, never stop growing, and never stop reaching for the future. The dawn of a new era had come.